Bosses in video games are extremely important. They present a bigger obstacle that the player must overcome. You have to make the player struggle at first, but then learn from their countless mistakes and defeat the boss. But they should feel accomplished for defeating the bosses. So, how are bosses designed in Sonic and the Secret Rings? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they mediocre? Well, in today's video, I will go through each boss and be giving an analysis on each. I've also made a two-parter on the level design of Sonic and the Secret Rings, so feel free to watch that. So, let's get started.
Sonic, look!
Whoa! I take it that's not something you see every day, huh?
That must be a monster summoned forth by the Erazor Djinn.
Shara! Can't you do something about it with your magic?
I'm sorry, Sonic. My magic is no match for that of the Erazor Djinn.
Okay then. Guess I'll just have to deal with him the old-fashioned way. And hey, don't look so glum, Shara. I'll have you smiling by the end of this. And that's not me ordering you as your master. That's a promise from me to you.
Yes, all right.
All right! Let's do it!
The first boss should always be the easiest so that players don't feel frustrated. The Sand Scorpion is your first boss and they are on a set path, chasing the giant scorpion. It spouts out purple objects that collide with the sand, and Sonic has to move right or left to dodge. Its second attack involves slamming one of its appendages to crush Sonic. Both of these attacks are very simple and easy to avoid, and the boss in general is a very simplistic one, the same pattern, waiting for the appendages to go down, only attack and repeat. It's pinch mode, where the main weak point starts chasing Sonic from the attack, can be slightly challenging at lower levels with a shorter homing attack range. But that's really it. I'm not really sure what to say about it besides being as basic as you can get for a video game boss.
Someone's looking for a duel!
Sonic!
This should be interesting. Come on, let's have some fun!
Captain Behemoth follows the same structure as the Sand Scorpion, down to a rinse and repeat pattern. The main objective here is to just take off his horn. Tearing off the first horn is pretty easy, but with the other ones, we'll try to electrocute Sonic for tearing them off. He also has a water attack, which really isn't anything special. Generally though, this boss is not too bad. It's a step up in quality, but I think it could have been better in my personal opinion. They can make the electrocution a lot faster, with each horn getting taken down, or make his water splashes more intimidating. It's a very mixed bag, and it's just a tiny step from the Sand Scorpion.
Sorry to keep you waiting! I didn't mean to leave you hanging earlier. You're not still mad at me, are you? You really need to learn to be more patient, you know? Now, Ring of Water, bring forth a mighty storm!
Sonic, look! The Ifrit is getting weaker!
Okay, now let's finish him off!
The Ifrit Golem is probably one of the stronger bosses in this game. Yes, it's pretty much a ripoff of the Egg Golem with the same objective of reaching its head for a chance to attack, but I like the boss. This colossal machine guy is a lot more hostile than the previous bosses as seen in my footage. His dynamite skill was a little hard for me to deal with. He also has multiple phases, with his last phase consisting of shooting lasers and using explosives across the narrow spot Sonic's on, while everywhere else is filled with lava. This was genuinely a pretty hard boss for me in my first playthrough of this game, while I cannot say the same for Sand Scorpion and Captain Behemoth. Anyways, it's a neat little boss, even with it being similar to the Egg Golem. It finds a way to stand out just a little bit more.
Ugh. It's the blue rat again.
Hey, looks like I'm running a bit low here. Think you could top me off?
Have you brought the 7 world rings?
Well, you see, you should really just look for them yourself.
Very well. I'll carve you to pieces until I find every last one.
Is that so? Let's see you try!
This is the best way to do the whole automated running version of bosses. Erazor's patterns are pretty simple. He has different ways of swinging his razor blade. When he does one of his 3 swings, Sonic has to jump and homing attack to defeat him. So yet again, the objective is very simple. But the main challenge that comes with this boss is that Erazor can be unpredictable with how he's gonna swing. And his patterns get ridiculously fast, with it sometimes being hard to even react, which makes Timebreak a real saving grace for this battle. Rings are also very sparse, with only having silver rings that give 20 each. But it's common to get hit, so your rings are inevitably going to be dwindling over time. All these factors make Erazor Djinn a worthy boss and a lot better than most of the game's bosses.
In the end, such is the weak power of a genie of the ring.
This is awful. You're just some incomplete monster. We've got to stop him! Shara! Please! Let me your power!
Alf Layla Wa Layla is the final boss of this game and is one of the more trickier bosses for me personally. He has multiple attacks, including hurling countless energy balls towards Sonic, whirlpools that will get Sonic damage if he sucked in, and cross-slashing. Your objective here is to deflect his energy orbs back at him using the soul gauge and beating the daylights out of his weak point to cause his body to explode. But similar to Erazor, the further you get into the fight, the quicker the attacks become. Rings are also very hard to come by, with there being very few silver rings and 2 respawning worlds of 5 rings, which is a lot more rare. Maintaining enough soul gauge for enough to deflect back the energy orbs is also a bit of a struggle, because you're going to be occupied with various other attacks that he puts out, but it's not impossible. This boss is probably Secret Rings' best, that uses all the methods from previous bosses to create a good finale. Now let's go back to the question I asked in the beginning of this video. Is the boss design good, bad, or mediocre? Well, I argue that these are good bosses and they give a decent challenge and feel fair. The bosses of Secret Rings are very surface level though. There's nothing really crazy going on in the environment, and they can feel very samey as they have followed that same structure. Well, most of them anyway. I do completely understand why Sonic team had to do this though, because of the Wii remote and how limited with its control scheme it is, and also having an automatically running Sonic. But overall, yeah, these are good bosses. They aren't exactly groundbreaking or even memorable, maybe besides Erazor Djinn and Alf Layla Wa Layla, but they work for the console the bosses were designed for. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in another one. Ciao.